we just had an election, so we ain't gonna just let that, go past, man. We just had an election, so if you happen, it, clap. Oh, sorry, my bad. I didn't mean to push out. I didn't mean to do that to you.
Let me say this right here. There's a lot of elements that were involved in that situation. And we always say that hindsight is 20/20. Things could have been done differently, being more proactive, but we try to adhere and honor the systems and the policies that are given to us. And so President Joe Biden did what he thought was the best for the country, but I also believe that the only thing that I would do in hindsight is to probably bow out gracefully a little bit earlier. You're looking at Kamala Harris, who only had 100 days really to campaign. So, I think if she had more time, then you might have seen a different outcome.
I agree.
I agree with you. So, I'm assuming that you was going for.
I'm the vice chair of the Democratic Party of Shelby County. So, I'm a diehard, Democrat that believes in democracy. I believe in treating everybody fairly, not labeling people. I believe that everybody deserves to be able to live the American dream. And some people don't believe that policy. And so when you look at the voter turnout, and people say, well, black people didn't vote. Well, you're talking about nationwide, only 13% of African Americans are in this country. And of that 13%, 7% vote. So it's not much impact that we could have had. We did turn out, we did vote. When you look at the demographics, you look at the numbers, we showed up. But that's not going to be enough, when it comes to getting things done in our country.
True.
Right.
And I think also that the narrative that was pushed that she was a black female was a bad campaign. Because people look at things from a racial standpoint, and if we're trying to remove racism, then we can't be categorizing people from a skin color standpoint or a gender standpoint, for that matter. What I've always said when she was running was that I'm not voting for Kamala because she's a black woman.
Right.
I'm voting for her because she's the most qualified candidate on this ticket. And if we look at qualifications, then she supersedes President Donald Trump. But with the narrative out there, if it was the other way, they made it, in my opinion, look like it was a race war.
Yeah.
I'm with you. We on the podcast, man, on the Universal Star podcast, we offer perspective. So I'm gonna agree to disagree with you, but when it comes to politics, everybody has their own, their concepts and how they look at things.
What's your take on it, bro?
You had to ask me. Well, the thing is about me, man, I'm gonna be honest with you. I pay attention to what people do. I do feel like there was a lot of moving parts that I felt like Kamala did lack on, but I also felt me personally, I didn't feel like she was, qualified to run. For one, she was already, if most people will agree that we're not in a thriving economy right now. Okay, so she was a part of that administration. So we was able to see what she was able to do within these last 4 years. We also was able to see what Trump did. I don't think too many people had too many complaints outside of the fact that the media was painting him out to be a racist, right? Okay. I also didn't prefer Trump in the beginning when he first ran, but at some point I started paying attention to what he was actually saying as opposed to paying attention to what, touch him on, all the stupid stuff he said. Right. There was some things that I knew that he was getting to, and there was a reason why they was trying to impeach him, put him in jail, shoot at him. There's a reason for that.
Yeah.
And especially when he mentioned the deep state, most people don't talk about the deep state.
Right.
So that's elite talk.
Right. I think that when you talk about economy, everybody wants to thrive economically. And I also believe that, the vice president doesn't have much say-so in her term, right? I mean, she's the second in command, right? She don't do much. When you think about when Biden was Obama's vice president, you didn't know what Joe Biden did, you know what I'm saying? So I think that when a person gets the opportunity to sit in that seat, you have to give that person an opportunity to become an individual. But right now, as a vice president, even as the vice chair of the Democratic Party, my job is to support the chair. You know what I'm saying? That doesn't mean that we have the same ideas always lined up. And I may have a different concept if I were chair, but that's not my issue at that moment. My obligation is to support the person that's in charge. And I think that's what she was doing.
Right. I also believe that I don't think every policy that Biden signed off, I don't think she was down for everyone, but like he just said, as a vice president, you're supposed to bag up the president.
Man, look, if you're a manager of a business and you got an assistant manager, the assistant manager don't buck up to the manager, he get fired.
Exactly.
And if the heat comes down, it's like, hey, it wasn't me, it's the manager.
Right.
Same thing with the president or anything else that you do in this world, right? Husband and wife, right? The husband is the president. The wife is the vice president. If the husband saying we gonna take all our money and put it into this idea, she co-signs it. If it don't work, it's not a reflection on her.
Nope.
She's just supporting the vision.
Yeah.
But if he dies and she's the head of her own household, she may do things totally different.
Yeah. She go another different route.
Let me ask you this then. There's a so you believe that the vice president really doesn't have too much of a say so other than to reinforce what the president's doing, right?
Absolutely. I mean, they get certain chairs and everything that they oversee and stuff like that, but the big stuff, the president wants to take credit for that.
Okay.
Yeah, just to let you know, the vice president is just a tiebreaker. If something is getting voted in between the House and Senate, that's the only
real power they
that's
have.
the only power they have is to be a tiebreaker.
And I'm glad you said that. So y'all do know that she was the tiebreaker between the House and the Senate on whether or not they pass the American Rescue Bill that Biden was going to pass, but she was the tiebreaker and she voted against it, and that's why we went into inflation. So I'm glad you said that, because that's another reason. That was kind of one of the initial reasons why I was like, well, why are we, I guess we're gonna ignore. There's a lot of things we ignore if we feel like we're on the side of right.
Are you against inflation?
Am I against inflation? Yeah, I'm against inflation. If we can do something about it, yeah.
Prices go up. I remember being in college at UT Chattanooga, and gas was 89 cents a gallon. I never forget that. You can't have gas right now in 2024 89 cents a gallon. Lifestyles change, increases in every situation, and you're making more money. So inflation is inevitable, right? And cities and states that try to deter inflation or increases in taxes and things like that, those are our most impoverished cities.
Yeah.
What about the spending though?
People gonna spend money. People gonna spend money. People gonna spend money. Most people don't have the discipline to save money. Everybody's an instant gratification. We're in an instant gratification society now. So even though you know that there may be a rainy day, most people have a mindset to worry about that rainy day when that rainy day occurs. We'll deal with it then. And you only have a few people that have the discipline to be able to say, hey, for every dollar that I make, I'm gonna put back 20 cents.
Yeah.
So.
Well, what I meant was, go ahead, Dre.
Pertaining to your statement you made earlier, pertaining to the president we have now, the red-haired guy, orange hair, whatever. I'm finding out now y'all can tell me if I'm wrong, I'm finding out now that these checks that he was giving out, that he so-called was the one that got everybody to give out and stuff. I was told that really wasn't his. That was Waters. Is his name Waters?
Maxine
Waters pushed that, and Congress pushed that. And so what he did was, since he couldn't stop it, he attached his name to it to take the credit. So you got people who were getting the checks like, that's my guy that he did. He did a smart business move right there.
He's a businessman.
Exactly. So everybody.
But more importantly, to my brother's, statement, people spend money, right? So we're in a situation where we're in a decline because of COVID and things of that nature, and money's all screwed up. Everybody holding to their money. What do you do to boost the economy? You give people money, and they know that the mindset of most people is going to be to take that $1,500 and in 6 seconds it's gone. But it has helped the corporations be able to thrive and survive during turbulent times.
And so that's a plus to him, though.
Right. Right.
But now we're not gonna act like, now when I say spend it, I'm talking about all the money that has to be spent out to fund these wars. All the money that's because it's a known fact that the Democrats love spending money. And then they have to take up the taxes for us to be able to pay for all the stuff they spending money on. So that's a lot of spending will cause us to go into inflation too. So I don't even think we was able to avoid that.
Right. Well, we're in the greatest country in the world.
I believe it.
The safest country in the world. All right. And in order to be safe and to be free and to be able to speak and do your thing, you have to protect the rest of the world. The rest of the world looks up to us as the ideal model for democracy. And when things pop up across the world that we have interest in, then we have to invest money into those deals to keep things safe. You don't want that type of stuff coming onto our soil. And we do a damn good job of making sure that anything that happens outside these borders. You can't imagine what Ukraine and Russia are going through, or what they're going through in Israel and Pakistan. You don't want to see that happening in America, and so that costs money to keep us safe.